Here's a very brief look at the history of the penny for you. The very first penny was made in 790 AD. Now, way back in those days, the penny was actually a silver coin. And over the centuries, it's become a copper piece like you see here. This is actually a more modern British one penny coin made in 1967. At that time, as you see, the British one penny coin was very close to the size of an American half dollar, which you see right over here for a size comparison. Now, in 1971, Great Britain reduced the size of its penny from this very large coin here on down to a coin around the size of an American 1-cent coin, which you can see for comparison's sake right here just how small this rather new one penny coin is compared to its predecessor right here. Now, the history of the one penny coin, or as we officially call it in America, the 1-cent coin, goes back to 1787, and that's when Ben Franklin designed a 1-cent coin. The first official 1-cent coin struck by the U.S. Mint was produced in 1793, and at that time, like with the British one penny coin, the American 1-cent coin back in the 19th century was around the size of an American half dollar. And in 1857, the very last large size 1-cent coin was made in the US, and that's when we reduced the size of our 1-cent coin on down to the current 19.1 millimeters that we see here today, as with this Lincoln cent. Now, the Lincoln cent in and of itself has a very interesting history. It goes back to 1909. It's been made every year since, and it's now over a century old, which in and of itself is amazing that we've had this coin for so long, this design for so long. A lot of people have talked about getting rid of the 1-cent coin because it costs so much to make. I mean, it actually now costs more than a cent to make a 1-cent coin. And people say that it doesn't really have any value anymore in the economy. It's such a small denomination, you really can't buy anything more for a penny. And people stash them away in boxes and in jars and in drawers. But you know what? The 1-cent coin, even though it is a very small denomination and maybe isn't used too often anymore in our day-to-day transactions like it was at one point in history, it's still a very important coin. It's got a certain place in many Americans' hearts, and it certainly has done its share of work in the American economy over the years. So even if the 1-cent coin no longer is made down the road, it'll certainly always have a place in coin collecting for sure, and certainly even in American history, and as a whole the penny, which goes back now over 1,000 years, will certainly always hold its place in world coin history as well.